Hello, it is May 17th, 2023, and today I went to the doctor for the first time since 2018. And it was kind of a different experience. One of the things with losing all of this weight is I'm much less like ashamed of my body because even though like when people see me, they're still like, "Oh, let me get the door for you," or if I move quickly, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna fall." Like there's still that, which I look forward to not being a thing. Um, but there's like a pride in being like, I've been working really hard and I know that. So I wasn't self-conscious, I was just like, all right, I know that I'm gonna have to go in there and people are gonna touch me and it's gonna be like a thing and that's okay. The lady who took my blood, look at that, there we go, said I had glorious veins and she could tell of my weight loss because of my arms. And I will show you. My arm has been through a lot, but this is what my arm looks like right now because all of this used to be full and now it is skin. So at some point we're going to have that chopped off, but this is the actual size of my arm. So that is something we are working on. Um, and if you imagine that, but all of this. And, the lady doing my x-ray, I had to lay on a table, which was fun. But, she was like, I'm going to feel where your hip joint is. And like, I didn't make any jokes about how she wouldn't be able to find it because I knew she would. When I lay on my back, I can feel all of my bones. When I touch my legs, I can feel my bones. So I was just like, yeah, it's about here. Like the stomach and the skin and stuff is in the way, but like it's about here. And she's like, oh yeah, there it is, no problem. And yeah, as far as the hip x-ray goes, we'll find out what happens sometimes this week. My doctor is on vacation, so it might take a little bit of time. But I couldn't get my foot turned in because I always must turn it out to, I don't know, to account for the injury, to account for the legs and stuff being in the way. But I had a lot of trouble turning it inward. So to put my feet together, I struggled with that. So there's probably some kind of a bone chip or something in there, but we will find out. The blood went fine, and I'm actually excited. Doing the blood test was kind of like getting ready for a test that you studied for because like it's going to be like my cholesterol, which, I'm eating veggies and protein primarily. So, I'm not eating anything bad. So I assume that's going to be good. My vitamin D is probably down on account of not being outside very often, but that's okay. Um, I don't think I'm anemic anymore because I do eat so much protein, but we'll find out. But yeah, we're gonna B12, I think was the other thing, and CVC, which is supposed to test the strength of my blood, which I don't really understand what that means, but they took my blood and it was good. And the lady was really nice. I asked for a kid sticker or a kid band-aid. She didn't have any, so she gave me stickers. She said, you can have one of every kind of sticker. And they were Thomas the Tank Engine and an Angry Birds one. So I got kid stickers. um, and I will always want kid stickers. I like if you go to the bank and they give you a lollipop, I want a lollipop. If I go to the dentist and they're going to give you an eraser, I want an eraser. That is just how I feel. um, but yeah, so it was a good experience. Midwestern nurses are the best. Radiologists are the best. They are very kind, very sweet. Um, it was Leslie and Maribel, and an angel checked me, and so they were very lovely. Um, and it was a big deal today because not only has it been a long time since I've been there, but I don't gear up as crazily as I used to go outside. Like before, it was like, okay, I gotta make sure to do like a workout before I go so that I'm warm and limber so that I can physically be able to walk to go outside. And I didn't do that today. I mean, I stretched a bit because I did something last night and like was it the lats, like the bottom of my back was like, and I'm like, all right, we're not doing that today. And so, I did some stretching to kind of limber that up. But other than that, I was like, we're just going to trust the process. And we are, T minus however many days till Shark Week. And that means my entire body is inflamed, it is swollen, it is in pain, and I couldn't take any medicine because you have to fast before blood work. So I was at peak pain and I still was like, it was all doable. And that's so encouraging because then it's starting to get where it's like, yeah, it's people are worried I'm going to fall or people are paying attention to me and opening doors for me. but it's getting closer and closer to me just being able to exist in the world and not have people pay attention to me, which would be lovely. But in the meantime, like if people pay attention to me, I want because I'm like smiling at them, not because they're like worried I'm gonna fall over. um, but it was a really nice experience, and I don't know, who's watching this, but the first time I went to the doctor in the recent past was 2018, and I weighed 492 pounds, and that I fluctuated higher during that time. And when I started trying to lose weight, I weighed in at 492 pounds. My body does love symmetry. Um, so it was a big deal, literally. And um, it was interesting to go in there and be proud of my body. Even like I weighed in this morning, I was 306. So that's 186 pounds that we are down. And that has been rattling around my head quite a bit because I ran into this around the 100-pound mark, that when you say you've lost 100 pounds, people pay more attention because like you hear on the TV, like I lost 50 pounds, I lost 80 pounds. And those are amazing accomplishments. And people will be like, oh, what's your secret? And, but they won't freak out, but once you hit 100 pounds lost, they're like, oh, what did you do? Like, oh, like they get in your face kind of about it. And I got over that. I got through it. I, got past the 100-pound mark. And now I'm coming up on the 200-pound mark. And I still have 100 more to go if I want to get to like my goal weight. I'll probably be healthy weight before then. But like if I'm pushing to get to my goal weight, I'm going to have like probably 40 pounds of skin removed and like a lot to go. That will be either me losing the weight or me having the weight removed. But one of the things that's kind of rattling around in my head a lot is like when you tell people you've lost 200 pounds, that becomes a new animal. And it's a scary thing. It's intimidating because people react strongly one way or another. And I joke with some of my friends who've lost a lot of weight saying, when you say you've lost a lot of weight, you feel like one of those priests who wears a collar out in public and everybody kind of confesses like, oh, I don't usually drink, or and you're like, I'm not here trying to talk about your life, I'm just here. The same thing happens when you've lost a lot of weight. People will, I eat this way because of my kids, or I do this and that. And you become kind of, it's not just about you losing the weight, it's about what they're doing. And that, I never want to be that thing that like makes somebody feel uncomfortable about their body, because I've been so uncomfortable about mine for so long. And just by existing, I have become that. And I struggle with it. And part of me wants to just not say how much I've lost until I'm done, because I don't want people to ever feel that way. So it's kind of a hard thing for me. And every time I get near a milestone like that, part of me kind of goes, everything's going to change now. People are going to react to you this way. Do you even want to do this? And of course I do. Of course I want to be healthy. Of course I want to. But there's a part of me that's like, nope, no, we don't. We just want to stay here in our little bubble and continue on the way we have, despite the fact that it's unhealthy and awful. It's a familiar awful versus an unsure, uncertain, wonderful future. And that's part of extreme weight loss, is fighting with your future self and your past self to figure out who your current self is going to be. It's a constant battle, And today was a nice day because it was like, I remember laying on the table and, not feeling self-conscious about how like my legs splayed in every direction, and her touching my pelvis and trying to find, where exactly how my hip was rotated. Like I didn't mind. And for me to not mind somebody touching my body, that was a big deal. So there's the victories of something like that. And then there's the, oh gosh, we're nearing 200 pounds lost. And this is like a daily occurrence where stuff like this is happening all the time, trying to be more comfortable with people and my emotions and being vulnerable. And I will tell you this. There's something that I'm working on that I kept saying I was going to jinx it if I talked about it, but I think if I talk about it, maybe I'll work on it. When you have a lot of weight, usually what happens is you get so overwhelmed by losing weight that you just don't. And you kind of turn to stone and most people die. And I'm very happy that there were catalysts in my life that prevented me from becoming that statistic. But I want to be the catalyst in other people's lives to not be that statistic. So at some point, with some bravery, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. And it's going to be similar to this, but it will be in public. And it will be vulnerable. So that's the thing I want to do. But what I want it to turn into is, as I get more mobile and I start doing things like this more often, going out, moving, getting a haircut, finding out, what makeup works for me, just silly things and not silly things. I want to take people on the journey with me and encourage people who are extremely overweight that you don't have to stay in your house and you don't have to die, because that is 100% how I felt. And I still struggle with it, of feeling like I'm not part of humanity, like I'm not part of society, that people will devalue me and judge me because of my past, heaviness, or because of my current skin, my, all of the different things. And learning through amazing therapy and having wonderful support that regardless of what's going on out here, what's going on in here is the most important. And that it doesn't take some kind of special unicorn to overcome this. It just takes making one good decision every day. And I've had months where I've lost 20 pounds. I've had months where I've lost none. But I'm making good decisions for my brain and my mind and my body. My brain and my mind. Let's say the physical and the mental and the spiritual, all of that, trying to make good decisions. And there'll be some months that are mostly mental, and I won't do very much with my body, but I'm healing and battling mentally and coming through some breakthroughs here. And then there'll be some months where like nothing really happens mentally, emotionally, I'm cool. And I'll just really hit hard on the physical front and lose a lot of weight, or gain some flexibility, or do something physical out in the world. And I feel like that's going to be something that I do with my life, that, that I become somebody who encourages other people to do exactly what I did, because I'm not a unicorn and I'm not special. I don't have some incredible resolve. I very much had to grip the people around me and take all the support I could get, and sometimes be carried by that support, and sometimes do it on my own. And that's so possible to do for literally anybody. You just have to believe in yourself enough to do it, or have belief in the people who believe in you, because sometimes that's all you have. But yeah, that's a thing that I am working on doing. And I think as life goes on, it'll get really fun. It'll be like, today we're going to go and swim with a dolphin, or today we're going to get on our first plane, or first plane in a long time, or we're going to take a train across the country. And I just think that would be like a fun, joyful way of sharing this experience and making a difference. So that's something I want to do in the future. I'll be working on it in the not so distant future, but I'm working on it. It's a scary thing because it's very vulnerable, but I really do want to do it. So it's like, yeah, that's a thing that I'm working on. They will not be concise. I will continue to talk too much and get taken off on little tangents, and hopefully people will just be fine with that. Or that they won't, and I'll just do it for myself, and that's fine too, because remembering this process, and if I'm 5 years down the line and I've lost the weight and I forget how far I've come, it'll be nice to have those to look back on. Like, I looked back at my first video I made trying to do like the poses for starting progress picture taking, and I could have cried. I looked miserable and painful, and it was awful, and it made me appreciate what I can do now with my body. So trauma doesn't win. We can fight it. Yeah. So I have no idea how long this has been. Probably a year. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry, but I hope I haven't taken up too much of your day. But thank you as always, for being here, for the support yesterday. I was very nervous about it, but I had lots of messages to get me through. So yeah, that's where we'll leave it today. But I love you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. We're doing things to make both of those things happy and healthy for you. Anyway, again, I love you. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.